This week, we're diving into how to shift our transportation habits to help heal the planet. I mean, from the first time I heard the phrase global warming many years ago, now known as climate change, it's always been connected with the greenhouse gases generated by driving your car, which is adding another blanket, figuratively, to the planet's atmosphere and keeping us a little too toasty warm. So according to the Center for Climate and Energy Solutions, transportation is the largest source, like half of our carbon emissions in the United States. Well, that's good to know. But what about per car? So using 1 gallon of gas makes your car spit out 20 pounds of carbon dioxide, or CO2. So keep that in mind as we go through these possible shifts in our transportation habits. Now, unfortunately, we can't take travel out of the equation altogether. But there is a lot that we can do to curb the bad stuff that happens when we travel from one place to another. So let's get into how to travel smarter and reduce the number of miles driven overall. And there's lots of ways to do this. The biggest one, plan your outings or trips and make it the shortest, most direct route to all stops, instead of going here, there, and everywhere without a plan, ultimately wasting your time and your money on extra gas, car maintenance, parking, and all the rest. Many of my weekly errands are all like in the same area. So I like to park in the middle of the area and just walk to each of my errands. It saves me time, parking frustration for sure, and I get a little exercise. You can also walk, ride your bike, or anything else on wheels that's powered by human energy if your destination is close by. I walked to work for years here in Kailua, and I loved my 10 to 15 minute walk to and from work. It was the perfect amount of time to get the mind into and then out of work. Look at it as part of a healthy lifestyle choice instead of an inconvenience. Use public transportation. I rode the bus for a number of years while living in Portland, and I loved the half hour of me time I used to get to and from work. No stress, no fuss, no traffic. You just sit back and enjoy the ride, read a book, take a nap, catch up on whatever you haven't been able to catch up on. Now, I know that rail is a really sore spot here in Hawaii, and I get it. It hasn't been done right. But the idea is still a good one overall. Carpool with anyone who lives in your area and works near you. This way, you don't always have to drive. You can take advantage of the carpool lanes, and you'll share the increasing expense of gas, wear and tear on your car, parking, and all the rest. Telecommute if you can, or work from home. So much more possible these days in more types of jobs than ever before. Maybe one of the only things that we can thank the pandemic for? Check out a car sharing app or service if carpooling or telecommuting just isn't an option for you. Do a quick Google search for this kind of service in your area to find what's available. This way, you get to use a car when you need one, but everyone and their dog doesn't have to buy a car of their own and take on all the responsibilities and the expenses. If you own a car, there are some ways to reduce its carbon footprint while you're on your planned trip. Now, first of all, if you're in the market for a different car, choose the most fuel-efficient car possible, or the one with the highest miles per gallon. Drive steadily. No punching the gas. This way, you don't waste fuel or your hard-earned money. The DOE has found that for every 5 miles per hour over 60 that you drive, your fuel efficiency is lower by 7%. There's actually a legit reason to drive like your grandparents. Reduce the amount of time your car sits in idle as much as possible. Turn it off if you're waiting for someone. Use that cruise control when you can if your car has it. And keep your car maintained and tuned up, and check the air in your tires on a regular basis. Take the toy rack off the top of your car when you're not using it. This will reduce the drag while you drive and save you some gas and money. If you have the means, upgrade to an electric vehicle. If not, drive your gas car as smartly and efficiently as possible until it can't be used anymore. Everything deserves and needs to have a full life. We make way too much trash replacing things before it's really needed, which is why we have an old gas car we don't drive very much. And lastly, whether we like it or not, we all need to fly less and or support, encourage the airline industry to clean their machines up, like we're doing our cars. So I'd offer a thought on how to prioritize your travel. Maybe keep business virtual and family personal. I mean, that is the really important reason to travel. Loved ones, right? Now, if you must fly, choose a direct flight when possible and pack light. Why? Because if every passenger on a flight packed one less pair of shoes for about 2 pounds less, it would save enough airplane fuel to equal taking 10,500 cars off of the road for an entire year. You might also try traveling by train or even by bus. It's a completely different kind of adventure. Now, I realize some of these behavior or habit shifts seem small, and it might feel like they won't make much of a difference individually. So why should we bother? Well, as we say here at OceanCore, small shifts collectively make meaningful change, just like packing one less pair of shoes. So look at every little thing you do or bit you save as a positive. Then add all your positives up. Just like your rainy day jar where all of your coins end up, it doesn't ever seem like much is deposited at any one time, but when you add it up, it's always more than you think. So remember, 1 gallon of gas not used saves 20 pounds of CO2 from being released into our atmosphere. All right, everyone. If you do any of these already, you are already a climate change leader. If not, don't worry. It only means there's more room for improvement and lots of ways for you to reduce your personal carbon footprint. So just try one. There's no time like the present, and you may even surprise yourself by liking the changes or liking the savings that you'll see. All right, y'all, we'll be back next week with more things you can do to fight climate change. Thanks for diving in. Hit that subscribe button before you leave. Share what you've learned here forward, and I'll see you next time.